With the resolutions of the criminal bullying cases against 5 South Hadley students, the tragedy of the suicide of 15-year-old Phoebe Prince is over in the strictly legal sense. But at a press conference Thursday after the last of 3 court hearings this week, Northwestern District Attorney David Sullivan emphasized that the case has shined a permanent spotlight on the issue of youth bullying and abuse.
The most positive message to have come out of this tragedy is that it has put an international spotlight on bullying and its devastating consequences. This prosecution has also shattered the myths that bullying is just part of growing up, that it affects only a small number of kids, and that kids can work it out themselves. The era of turning a blind eye to bullying and harassment is over.
Sullivan noted that his office worked consistently with Phoebe's parents, Ann O'Brien and Jeremy Prince, to aim for the best ending to the criminal proceedings.
I want to say from the very beginning that the O'Brien and Prince family was never looking for these teenagers to go to jail. They were looking for accountability, they were looking for responsibility, and they were looking for remorse. And those were the messages that they got across today, and I think throughout this case. And I don't think anybody who saw Mrs. O'Brien over the last 2 days would doubt her sincerity in wanting to make sure that these youths become productive citizens. And that's really our goal as a prosecutor's office, is to make sure that we prosecute vigorously, but at the same time to make sure that these youths become productive citizens.
He also resisted the idea that the lessening of the charges from the original case brought by his predecessor, Elizabeth Scheibel, meant that her office had reacted too harshly.
These cases were not overcharged. These cases were brought because of the evidence that was available at that point in time to the Scheibel administration. That administration looked at the facts and evidence. We did the same. We brought these charges in accordance with what the facts and evidence were and also the wishes of the family, and that's the way we resolved it today.
The defendants all seem to have learned from the gravity of Prince's suicide and the resulting court proceedings, Sullivan said.
I don't think there's any doubt that the actions of Ashley Lounge and her clear admission of responsibility from the very beginning of this case and her ability to encourage to meet with Mrs. O'Brien yesterday, and Mrs. O'Brien's comments today reflect that Ashley Lounge has really made great strides to change her behavior and to be a better citizen. As far as the other defendants, I'm sure that they have thrown. I don't know in which direction, and I hope it's a positive one.
However, he had much more harsh words for officials of the South Hadley school system, most notably Superintendent Gus Sayer.
Elizabeth Scheibel made the determination that there was no criminal conduct on the part of the school system. We fully reviewed this case and did not find criminal conduct. But I don't excuse their conduct. Elizabeth Scheibel described it as troublesome, and I think that's an understatement. I think the school system has made incredible strides, but the comments that were made today by Superintendent Gus Sayer did not fully reflect on the gravity of what happened in the school. Bullying isn't just about one individual like Phoebe Prince being exposed to that type of harassment. It's every single student in the school system. So I would want Superintendent Sayer and the school system to keep working on making their schools safer. But there will be no criminal charges that will be brought against the South Hadley school system.
For GazetteNet, this is Don St. John.